Hidden deep underground are some of the rarest treasures in all of science. Formed from immense pressure over millions of years, fossils tell us the story of our long-lost ancestors and the strange creatures that populated their world. While dinosaurs are some of the most famous of all extinct species, not all of the strangest fossils ever discovered came from those lizards. Some of the most bizarre fossils came from creatures so alien you have to see them to believe they are real. These are the last remnants of the oldest life forms on the planet, preserved in time and rock for future generations. Velociraptors are poorly understood outside of the paleontological community, mostly due to inaccuracies in the Jurassic Park franchise. No, velociraptors were not 6-foot tall, hyper-intelligent carnage machines. The velociraptor was actually about the size of a turkey and more of a scavenger than a predator. Still, that doesn't mean that some raptors were not predatory in nature. One fossil actually captures a raptor preying on a Protoceratops, but the fight was much closer than you would imagine. The raptor had pierced the Protoceratops with its massive toe claw, but the Protoceratops managed to bite and break the raptor's arm using its powerful beak. The two passed together, probably due to the unexpected collapse of a sand dune. Roughly 100 million years ago, spiders were just as terrifying as they are now. Need proof? How about this piece of amber that was discovered with a perfectly preserved spider inside? The spider was in the middle of consuming a juvenile wasp when both predator and prey were engulfed in tree sap. This particular species of wasp preys on spider eggs, so the wasp might have had it coming in this situation. The fossilized amber was found in Myanmar. It's the only example of a spider fossilized during a hunt. Modern Madagascar is filled with some of the most unique wildlife on the planet, but go back 68 million years ago and you will find a creature much more terrifying than anything alive today. Beelzebufo ampinga was a species of ancient frog that had a bite strong enough to prey on and eat small dinosaurs. They had massive gaping jaws that were much more powerful than those of modern amphibians. The bite force of these terrifying frogs was equivalent to modern day wolves and tigers, making it one of the most ferocious amphibians of all time. Sometimes extinction is a good thing. The modern residents of Wyoming can sleep easier knowing that this terrifyingly large ant species has been extinct for at least 50 million years. The ants were about 2 inches long, more than big enough to pack a serious bite. These animals required warm temperatures to survive, which could give us a glimpse into why these gigantic insects eventually perished. While modern England is not exactly known for its exotic wildlife, the discovery of Kirkdale Cave changed the perception of prehistoric England forever. Initially discovered in 1821, the cave was thought to be little more than the resting place of a herd of unlucky cattle. Further analysis showed that the bones found in the cave were not from cattle, but from a whole host of animals no longer found in England, including rhinos, hippos, mammoths, and hyenas. The small cave was too narrow to fit most of these species, so it's believed that the cavern was actually a den that hyenas used to haul their meals into for safe dining. Getting caught in the act is an embarrassing experience for any couple, but nothing compares to these two turtles who were discovered after being fossilized mid-copulation. The 47-million-year-old couple was unearthed by German scientists excavating at the Messel Pit, a famous dig site. The specimens are the first ever vertebrate fossils to be discovered while engaging in intercourse at the moment of their demises. Researchers theorize that the turtles experienced carbon dioxide poisoning after sinking deeper into the lake and entering a deposit of deadly gas. The animal kingdom can be pretty kinky sometimes, and even some of the oldest species on Earth were more liberated than modern humans. Take trilobites, one of the more recognizable fossils in the world. These tiny arthropods commonly engaged in massive orgies, sometimes with as many as 1 billion sexual partners, all scurrying across each other. So many of these orgies have been observed that scientists believe this was a pretty normal occurrence for these frisky creatures. They even got naked to perform the deeds, shedding their tough exoskeletons to expose the soft flesh underneath. On occasion, these events would end in disaster, as the massive aroused trilobites would be smothered by sediment. Luckily for us, one species' sexual tragedy is another's scientific discovery. A group of fossilized sperm cells rocked the paleontological community and made history as the oldest sperm ever found. The 50-million-year-old sperm came from a species of annelid Antarctic worm, one that is related to modern earthworms and leeches but is now long extinct. The sperm was preserved in a cocoon, one that scientists believe the worms created for the sole purpose of getting down and dirty. This discovery is so remarkable because fossilized sperm is an incredible rarity regardless of the age. Scientists discovered a dinosaur approximately the size of a bee hummingbird, preserved in amber. The new species named Oculodentavis congraia was recovered from 99 million-year-old amber from northern Myanmar. Due to its miniature size, the creature has a unique pattern of cranial fusion and an autapomorphic ocular morphology. In other words, it has lizard-like eyes defined by a small pupil. The creature is the smallest known dinosaur from the Mesozoic era to date. Its skull is bird-like and about 7 mm long. Jingmai O'Connor, the lead author of the study and the paleontologist from the Institute of Vertebrate Paleontology and the Paleoanthropology in Beijing, China, said it's the weirdest fossil he has ever been lucky enough to study. Roger Benson, a paleobiologist from the University of Oxford, explained the miniature body sizes in birds evolved earlier than previously recognized and might provide insights into the evolutionary process of miniaturization. Paleobiologists studying the remains of a 15-foot-long marine reptile called an ichthyosaur discovered the remains of another swimming reptile fossilized in its stomach. The reptile in the tummy, a thalattosaur at 13 feet long, was nearly as long as its predator, although the smaller animal's remains did not include the head and tail. The thalattosaur might have been so large that the ichthyosaur perished while attempting to eat or digest it. Although some people have claimed this preserved claw is from a dinosaur, that is not true. It's actually the preserved foot of a moa, a giant flightless bird from New Zealand that went extinct more than 600 years ago when people arrived in the area. Archaeologists discovered the fossil, flesh and skin, still intact in a cave. Analysis revealed that 3,300 years old mummified claw belonged to an upland moa, one of the smallest moa species reaching 4.2 feet tall at most. The claw was likely preserved because the upland moa perished in a cool, dry cave that provided natural conditions for preservation.